Howdy, hi, hey, everybody. Public Relations and Marketing Specialist here at the NAA, Taven Wohlford, and I'm here with another talk with the President. I'm joined by NAA President Morgan Hopson, CAI. How you doing today, Morgan?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm noticing the new frames. You're
Yes.
making a statement, and I love it.
Yeah, everyone's like, what's happening with this vibe? I'm like, well, it's not that exciting. I'm just having some eye issues. So you get the frames for a couple days. Like,
Super
no
exciting. What are
eye
you talking about?
makeup, no contacts. So this is what you get. So,
Astigmatism is the most profound and exciting thing in all of eye
right.
health, you
So
know? So here's a question for you. When does spooky season officially arrive? Because it's October 1st, and I've seen like a dozen of those 20-foot skeletons in front yards around the office. When does it actually start?
you know what? I think it started, if you ask like a Hobby Lobby or a Michaels, it started like 4 months ago
Like,
because they
yeah,
had
true.
all of their stuff out. I'm not, maybe it's an unpopular opinion. I'm not a big spooky season fan. Like, I love fall, but Halloween's really just
Okay.
not my jam.
Okay, no problem. So, as I mentioned, it is October 1st, and instead of spooky season, we've got another initiative going on in the NAA forum. The NAA's Top Connector initiative has officially kicked off, and I wanted to get your insights as the 2019 Women's IAC champion. Would you say that auction professionals are a competitive bunch?
Oh man, are we? We are so competitive, and I'm so excited about this initiative. I'm so excited about this leaderboard. I think that's going to make it like so fun and engaging for everyone. Um, Really, the heart of this initiative is about relationships, and I know Tavin, you've been like so in the thralls of like making this
Uh-huh.
initiative happen and it come to life. And maybe some of you saw Tavin's video explaining the initiative that was released earlier today. But do you want to tell us a little bit, like walk us through what this looks like? How do members participate? What do they need to do? How do they win the trip?
Sure, sure. So it can be looked at like a three-step system with really only two steps being necessary things to get that luxury giveaway package that you're referencing. But I think the Top Connector initiative is a perfect opportunity to grow this profession and to showcase that competitive nature that you know auction professionals have.
Right.
So step one, all you got to do is invite auction professionals to join the NAA, members that aren't already members, just people out there, auction pros that aren't a part of the NAA, get them in here. Step two, make sure they list your name in the referred by boxes. Sign up. And step three is just following along the leaderboard that you brought up on our NAA Auction Professionals Facebook group, and that'll be like a weekly update that we'll have that leaderboard. And
That's
that's all it takes. Just invite people and make sure they sign your name up.
And there's not only a reward for our members, right? There's a reward for new members that are signing up too, like a potential for conference and show registration for 2026, correct?
Correct. So every new referral that you bring in gets you submitted for a luxury vacation giveaway, thanks to
Right.
our friends at LuxGive. But for the new members that you do bring in, each new member gets a chance to get a free 2026 conference and show registration.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for this. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I said, watching the leaderboard, watching the competition, because whether it's like us playing board games or, in actual auction championships, like at heart, I think our industry is just so competitive. So obviously we're competitive bidders, we're competitive sellers. So
Yeah.
this is just plays right into one of our strengths as auctioneers and in the auction industry. So really
Yeah.
cool.
So this started today, October 1st, and it runs through November 30th. You've got 2 months to get this initiative off the ground, and we are super excited to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I think, what really excites me about this initiative is that it really lets us as members take some ownership of growing our association, right? And growing our profession. And I think we know as members that as we see new members come in, that helps bring fresh energy and new ideas and maybe different perspectives. And so Top Connector is just such a fun way to do that. Again, playing into our strengths as competitors, but helping us grow. And then I think at its core, really ensuring that our association continues to thrive for the next generation and that we're getting fresh perspectives and new ideas in our pipeline of membership. So all it takes is one conversation. It was always like preached to me growing up, like you have a sphere of influence and it's your responsibility to like tap into those people. And so I think we know just like our association can grow one relationship at a time. So I'm just so excited to see what comes out of this, and everyone that's put so much work in on the back end to this initiative. Like props to you. This is so cool. Such a fun opportunity, one that I don't know that we've had before. And so just really excited to see what comes out of this. And it's fun and it's going to be simple for you to participate. Puts the power in our members' hands, and shout out to our friends at Lux Give. So thanks for partnering with us to offer some really cool initiatives there.
Yeah. And you just brought up fresh energy, fresh perspective there. And I think that fully goes in line with our Top Connector initiative, just joining this movement and growing this profession. Like the more voices we have a part of that, the better it is for the long run.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And speaking of fresh energy, last week, the board, the NAF board, and our executive staff met in San Antonio for a few days for strategic planning. What insights can you give us on that meeting?
This year we did something really cool that, and to my knowledge, we haven't done before. At least my 5 years on the board, we haven't done it before. In the NAA board and the foundation board, we were there at the same time for strategic planning. Now, we had our own independent strategic planning sessions, but we had a couple opportunities to come together for some joint conversation and just really share discussion about how we can align for the betterment of our members, our industry, association. I think it was a really important moment. It was really good to all be there at the same time. And some of you listening may not realize, but we're actually two separate organizations. I think a lot of times people think the foundation falls under the association or vice versa, but we're really two separate independent organizations. But last week really allowed us some opportunity to sit at the same table and to really look at like, okay, what does our mission and vision look like for each independent organization? And then how do we come together and look beyond our own organizational priorities and just sit down and really say like, okay, what can we do together that we can't do alone? And how can we serve the betterment, not just of our members, but our auction community? And so I just wanted to share that because one, I think it's really cool that we were able to do that. But two, I think it tells you a lot about where we're headed as an association and organization. You heard us, if you were at Conference and Show, talk about this a lot, but that we are done operating in silos, right? We are being really intentional and we want a lot of collaboration, more alignment, clear vision, more transparency. And so I think conversations like this just help us get there, right? And it's the first step to a long road ahead of successful strategic planning for both organizations and some really meaningful conversations. So I thought that was really cool.
Sure. Why should members care about strategic planning? Why does strategic planning matter to members?
Absolutely. Well, I want to talk too about like, okay, how did we get to strategic planning? Like, what did that look like?
Sure.
And I think, as a NAA board, as we sat down and we really looked at strategic planning, first of all, props to Allison. She led the most effective strategic planning I've been a part of the whole time I've been on the board.
Did she do games?
Did you what?
Did she do games?
Yeah, we did. We actually played this really fun game where everyone had to come up with an idea. And then we got Monopoly money. Well, actually, I think it was money from her daughter's princess game, maybe. So I was like, nobody lose this. Nobody mess it up. Gotta go back or you're going to have to ship a new game to headquarters. So thanks to Allison's daughter for letting us borrow her play money. But each board member was then like kind of given some play money. And then I actually sold the ideas off and we bid on them to kind of see, hey, it was just a fun little icebreaker Allison came up with. And but it kind of actually really started and sparked a lot of conversation about, the next 2 days, right? It really helped us get things off and kind of get those creative juices flowing. So we had a little mini auction with some play money. So that was fun, but it was really intentional. She did such a good job framing it. Like I said, the most intentional strategic planning that I've been a part of in my 5 years. And I think those 2 days, I think sometimes when you come out of like 2-day meetings, you're like, that was a lot. Yeah, I picked up some things, but was it intentional? Was it not? And this was so intentional. It was so much fun. It was just really meaningful to be there with our whole board and have really strategic, creative, intentional conversations about the future of our organization. And so I think as we did that and as we kind of sparked through the game and other conversations, we had to really have some hard conversations, and we had to say like, okay, what are our strengths? What are our challenges? What are we not very good at? Where are our greatest opportunities? And for those of you who are familiar, I mean, we did a full SWOT analysis to say like, what does this look like for our members and for the future of our industry? And so I think one of the most important things that happened in those days is that we really intentionally like we took a step back and we said like, okay, where are we headed? Right? How does NAA lead us there?
Sure.
Strategic planning gave us that space to be intentional about that. We talk about, and a lot of our members that are listening are probably familiar with like the plan to 2030 or PACE to 2030, right? So it was promotions, advocacy, community education, PACE to 2030. And I don't know if that's something, obviously we've had a lot going on the last couple of years as a board, but I don't know that it's something we've really sat down, intentionally looked at, and that we're constantly looking at throughout the year, PACE to 2030. Where I think a strategic plan shouldn't just be something that like, okay, we did it. Now it sits in this binder and I'm going to put it in my cabinet back there and we're never going to look at it again. It's a lot about creating that shared vision. And I think those initiatives come from, okay, let's look at where we've been. Like, who are we as an organization? Where are we living right in this moment right now? And then what does it look like moving forward? And so again, just really looking at that SWOT analysis, and Allison had actually sent the board a full SWOT survey before we got there. So we got to do some pre-work, right? And say, okay, what does this look like? And then she had sent out all of our results. So we got to review those before we even got there. To not only see where we thought we fit in that SWOT, but where our fellow board members, right, thought where we are as an organization. So I think a lot of clarity came out of that, but then really looking at initiatives that we think are going to move the needle in the long run. Again, not just for our members, but as our community as a whole. And so I think our membership should be really excited to see these initiatives coming out. I want to tease them, and Taven, you and I talked about that. Like, do we say them today? I really want to, and know if you're listening that those things are coming, but we do have just a few more things to flesh out. We're actually meeting next week to continue that conversation, to make sure that when we're communicating them to our members, that they really are things that we are intentional about, that we believe in, and that they're not just big ideas, because some of these are really big, bold ideas, which is exciting for me, right, as we lead an organization, but that they're measurable too. And so I think that goes back to the conversation of, okay, we're not just going to come up with this plan and put it in a binder or put it in a folder and say like, hey, good, like we did that, right? Like that was a great strategic plan. Like it's something that's measurable. So we're revisiting that, and they're actually all driven by data. That we can look at and constantly reassess and saying like, okay, do we need to make adjustments, or is this no longer working for us? Do we need to come up with something else that serves its purpose? I think I will say this wasn't done intentionally, but as we we have 4 initiatives that we identified. Those magically fit into each of our cornerstones.
Okay.
And we didn't go into conversation saying like, okay, we want each cornerstone to have one main initiative, right?
Sure.
Like that wasn't, because we wanted broad ideas and we wanted people to be creative and like, where are we going as an organization? How can we best serve our members? But somehow magically they fell pretty much one each. And there's obviously some overlap, right, between initiatives. But if you were to look at them, you'd be like, oh, that was interesting. Like, did you sit down and carve that out for promotions? And we'd be like, no, like we didn't do that. But I think it just speaks to how our cornerstones still are really relevant and how they each serve their own purpose. And so these initiatives are going to have some overlap with cornerstones and committees. And, but I think, again, what I just really love the most about each of them is that when we were doing this, we were really, again, I just feel like I'm overusing the word intentional, but it truly is what we were trying to do. And that we're able to look at these initiatives and say for each of them, okay, what does success look like for us? How do we measure it? And we actually had the big whiteboards, right? like the stickies, and we were like, okay, what does success look like? Let's like write this out, and then go through and kind of vote on those things. Like, oh, I think this is what success looks like for me. And we did a lot of small group work in different groups, really collaborative, you guys. Just like I said, something we haven't done as long as I've served on the board. And so I think as leaders and as members of the association, we all left there really energized and excited for what's to come.
Yeah.
And I'll say some of these initiatives I may not see during my time on executive committee. Like, hopefully I'm able to be a part of the work, but I may not see them fully come to fruition for 3 to 5 years. And that's okay, because I think, again, that just means we're doing work that's going to serve us in the long run. So I don't think I even answered your question, Taven, but I kind of wanted to talk to membership. Like, how did we get here? Like, right? Like, how did we come to these initiatives that are going to serve us as members? I think you asked me originally, like, why it matters, right?
Sure.
This matters to our members because at the end of the day, our strategic plan is truly just about making sure that your membership as an association member means something, right? That you're seeing a return on the investment. And maybe whether that's coming out of any of our cornerstones, maybe you're seeing a return, again, promotions, advocacy, community, education, or maybe you're just seeing it influence the credibility of our brand as NAA.
Sure.
And the legacy, right, that we have.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, there's something to say for that, because our organization obviously was founded in 1949. Like, we've been around a long time, but to continue the legacy of that brand and evolve in that brand, like, what does that look like? I think, in our climate, in our world today, things are changing so quickly. And so as we look at the strategic plan, and it's something that's a little malleable, right, that we can make adjustments to, we're being proactive so that we can make sure that NAA is not just keeping up, right, with the ever-changing climate and the ever-changing like technology changes, but that we're really at the forefront, and that we're the ones as an association, that we're the leading voice. We're the first call. People want to know what the NAA has to think, what our members do, why they should hire an NAA professional. Just same as the Top Connector initiative, it's about momentum, right? And it's about building momentum for our members, for our next generation of auctioneers, for the public's understanding of the auction method of not just marketing, but the auction method of selling, and what value that brings to the table. And so I think it really is exciting about where we're headed. Hopefully members are feeling that energy. Hopefully they're feeling that momentum. Maybe some changes, right? And how we're interacting with one another, our transparency with one another. And I hope they're starting to see that and feel that. I know that we are as a board, and that's really exciting. So hope that's coming down the pipeline to our membership as well.
Yeah, I view this talk with the president as a showing of transparency. Being able to sit down with you and being able to talk about these things for members and with you, like it just feels like something special.
Yeah. And I think, you say that, and I'm like, we talked about this a little bit before, and I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm skirting around our initiatives. Like, I'm really excited to share them with everyone. But we just got to do like those final tweaks before we really, really push them out there. But I think something that we talked about as a board is to really like publish those and like send them to our members and make that really a communication piece, so that as members, hey, these are the things that we're really focused on, and this is what the board envisions us leading us forward. And to really sit and be able to evaluate those every year, but that we're really taking a hard look at those every 3 to 5 years, because those initiatives change. So it's something we're going to have, at the back of our minds in every single board meeting, every single meeting we go into, but really to like, okay, every 3 to 5 years, we need to take a hard look at these strategic initiatives to see if they even are still moving the needle for us and making a difference. So, and that's something, I don't know that we've been the best at least in the last couple of years. So.
Okay. Well, so thank you for that incredible insight on strategic planning. But that you were in San Antonio So
Oh,
how are you personally feeling about San Antonio as the host city for next year's conference
you
show?
know, as a Texas kid, I'm pretty excited about it being in San Antonio. If you've not been to San Antonio, it's really cool. Our hotel, our host hotel, is right on the Riverwalk, which is really neat. You just go down the escalators, you're right there. The end of
Wow.
the Riverwalk, all the boats load there to take on tours. There's a lot of restaurants that are walkable, a lot of fun things to do at night that are walkable too. Our hotel is also actually connected to the mall. So if you walk out on the second floor where all the conversations, ballroom is going to be second and third floor. I should say ballroom and classes will be second and third floor. But if you walk out the doors, you're walking right into a yard house. And so restaurant right there.
Yeah.
And then you're walking right into the mall. So I think a lot of things for our members to have access to during the week, a lot of restaurant options, really cool things. The Pearl District is not far away. There's some amazing restaurants there. It was an old brewery that they've now turned into this really cool community space. And so that's just another awesome, you should check that out. Put it on your list if you're listening to go to the Pearl District and hang out there. They've got a big food hall that's got a bunch of different restaurants in it. There's some really high-end restaurants there, some really cool boutique shops. So I'm excited for people to get a feel of San Antonio. Now, obviously, July, it's Texas in South Texas. So it's gonna be warm, you guys. Maybe bring a fan if you need
Yeah,
it.
leave the wool jackets at home.
Yes, yes. Dress, professionally but light. So
Yeah.
it's gonna maybe bring a couple changes of clothes. Like it's gonna be warm. But we've got some cool things coming on the pike for the welcome party too. Put a little Texas flair on that. So
Ooh.
I'm excited. Texas is excited to host, and I really didn't pick where our location was going to be. It just really fell
Yeah.
in that it was going to be Texas, and so I'm jazzed about it.
I can't
Really.
believe as the Texas girl here, you forgot to mention the Alamo. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
one thing you're not supposed to forget.
that's there. Don't forget the Alamo. It is
Yeah.
there. It's probably smaller than you think if you've not been there before,
It
but
was. I have been there, and it was smaller than I
okay.
thought.
It's kind of tiny. We're really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
historical landmark. Please go check it out for the sake of Texas history. So
Yeah. Okay, last thing, and just as a there's still time kind of message, Real Estate Summit kicks off October 5th through 7th in Denver. I know you'll be there. You
yes,
excited?
I am stoked. I love Denver. I'm excited again to get out of the Texas heat for a couple days. Um, you guys, there is still time. We still want you to come and attend. For instance, I have not booked my flight yet. So I will be there Sunday through Tuesday. And I'm so excited. Our task force has put so much work into this. But I mean, if you're like me, you can book a flight last minute, jump on a plane, come. Registration's still open. We'd love to have you. There's room for you. Our task force has done a really good job putting together the agenda for this
Mhm.
summit. It's the first real estate summit we have ever had. And some people may say, no, we've had them before. No, those were workshops and they were done in conjunction with Designation Academy. This is the first real estate summit that we've ever had. And if you look at the agenda, it is packed full with high level
Yeah.
information and education, and it's going to be awesome. So I'm stoked to be there. Allison will be there as well. I know we have some other NAA staff coming, and then just an incredible agenda of real estate professionals that are going to be there and educators. So looking forward
Yeah.
to it. Denver will be awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's all I have for you this month. Do book that flight, Morgan.
I'll get that done.
But yeah, thank you, and have a great rest of your October.
Yeah, you're awesome, Tavin. Thank you so much.